quintessential MyMac podcast, #1, Christmas Mayhem.
That'll work.
Yeah, they don't know this. You've got to keep going, Guy.
I know.
They don't know about these bits where you start.
Well, I just needed the silence just after, and so we're good.
That's his OCD kicking in.
I wish
Sorry,
I jumped in
Zoom's
and
only
said hello.
removing the minute on certain dates.
Is anyone else recording this? So
Nope.
I should also be
not the-
recording.
I was
This.
just updating.
Not the video, but
Or the audio.
I'm recording the audio.
Okay, all right, good. That's all we really need. So even if the video craps out, we'll still have a record that this happened.
It looks like Zoom is only removing the limit on certain dates, and this is not one of them.
Oh,
Okay, so
well,
in
then
that
we'll
case, we
find
better-
out in about 5 minutes. whether or not this is going to work. Everyone, remember, if it doesn't work, Simon is going to send the new link once I get it going. Okay.
Radio.
All right.
and if I will put it in wire, okay, chaps.
So I'm getting ready to start here. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Bring this over. Get rid of format. Narrow it down. Come on. There we go.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. Turn the computer off. Walk away.
Then just enjoy watching the last episode of The Mandalorian.
That was
really good.
Yes,
All right.
I've hijacked the show already.
And welcome everyone to the Essential MyMac podcast #1. This is a special Christmas episode with Gaz, Simon, Steve Durbin, Mark Chappell, odd Scottish accent guy Mac Jim, Donny Yankello, Nick Riley, and me. We're going to talk about stuff. It should be fun. And based on the last 36 or so minutes, yeah, this is going to be something.
Just like how The Mandalorian was something. God,
all right, well
something
then, all right, Mark, you volunteered. We're going to start off with you. How are you today, Mr. Chappell?
Bear with me a second.
Okay, well, you say that and then you're gone for 15 minutes. So, yeah, you got to give us more than that.
Monty, shall we there, Gaz, after that? And I've just forgotten how strong gin is. I think I went for the is that the time? Hello? I'm back. No, I'm all right, Gaz. I'm working over Christmas. I have Christmas Day off. I have Boxing Day off.
It's Guy.
And I just every
Well,
time.
you look so much alike that I completely understand.
Exactly. And you sound the same as well.
Mark, the easiest thing to do, Mark, when you're talking to either myself or Guy, just say G-Man. Right?
Yeah.
I'm glad to be a part of the show. There, we're
Okay,
sorted.
Move on. We're moving on to Simon. Simon, we've kind of hijacked your show and our show to make a show.
This show. Which is going to be Mayhem.
Oh,
I don't know. How many of us are there now? 10? I don't know. 10?
I don't
10
know.
of us?
There's a bunch of us. There really
1,
is.
2, 3,
3, 4,
Eight.
5.
8. 8 of us.
Okay.
Well,
So are you okay with all this, Simon?
yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Steve Durbin, sign in, please.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm Geeks Corner. I'm doing good, thanks.
Okay,
Short
you
and sweet. That's good.
have a
That's good.
I do, yeah. Just a small one going on my own, but I run a website, Geeks Corner.
Okay, so you run a website, Geeks Corner, and you have a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's get the plugs in. Plug. All right, next up. Go ahead.
No, go on. You carry on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, next up is odd Scottish accent guy, Mac Jim.
Good afternoon. I'm a bit worried because I'm looking at the video here. I'm awfully worried that I look like you.
You're worried. I'm worried.
I think we passed worried about an hour ago. So that's okay. Let's move on to Donny. Donny, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Anything to plug? Anything to link?
If I plugged everything, we'd be here for another hour. So
Well, we're going to be. I don't.
an hour after that, I mean.
Oh, an hour after. Okay. Well, collect your thoughts, sir. All right.
The
Nick
show notes.
Riley. How are you, Nick?
I'm very good, thank you, and very pleased to be here and seeing all your lovely faces.
Pleased. That's a
If
word.
you could just get some lovely faces, that really
Oh.
help.
Hey. This is what happens when you get a new Mac M1. You have that serious. You have that. Oh yeah, I'm slightly.
Yeah, which I'm not
Say-
using at the moment because I hadn't installed all the drivers and things. So had to
I
go
was
back to the
actually
old
just. I was actually just about to compliment,
got
saying
mine.
that's not too bad a video.
one. No, this is back on my Intel Mac Mini now.
No, I actually got everything working on my M1 Mac Mini.
Well, everything has
maybe
worked
if we
really
work out,
well.
We can compare show notes or something and get it. See if we can get you up and running.
Yeah, everything seems to have worked very well up until the fact that I'd forgotten that I hadn't actually set up everything
Okay.
on the new one. So
That happens. It does happen.
yeah.
Have I left anyone out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who left out? Did we get to everybody?
No.
Who's left?
Moi.
I said, didn't I? No, I didn't.
No.
say.
No, you
Gaz,
didn't. No.
How,
No, you
how are,
didn't.
how are you?
I am. Well, I was okay, but I think it's going to go
No.
pear shaped. But there you
Now
go.
you're
I'd
upset.
just like to say
understand.
I have my 2 terabyte SSD ready for,
Ooh.
and I've also got this little beast, which is
Ooh, what is that?
It's a dock. It's a dock for a certain mini, which might be coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
does
nice.
that have
And
like
this-
the built-in
dock-
underneath bit for a drive?
Hence the drive.
I've got one of those
Absolutely.
coming. I haven't gotten that yet.
Both-
So
both-
this is weird.
So
You have your drive. You have the dock.
yeah, but I don't have the.
You
Mac
don't
Mini.
have the M1. I've got the M1 Mac Mini, and I've got the drive,
Send
but
it
I
over.
don't have the dock.
Send it over.
So between the two of us, we have a working computer. Very
Yes,
good.
We do.
Very, very good.
I'm very well.
I have
thank you,
that.
Guy.
And I've also got my other new Dell 4K monitor, but I don't actually have it connected yet. That's going to be probably after this show is done and I get it edited, assuming that everything works out. I
No.
expect it to.
The wishful thinking is kicking in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the season, so I'm expecting Christmas miracles. That's exactly how that works.
Christmas
Right.
wishful thinking, like I wish
I
all
know,
hearts
I
were
know.
fifty.
Now, this is going to be a very, as far as the MyMac podcast goes, this is going to obviously is going to be very, very different because we're not going to do a break. We're just going to slam, hopefully, unless Zoom cuts us off, we're going to slam right through this. But on that note, there is a review over at mymac.com. And Gaz, would you please read that review?
You want me to read the review? Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Apple HomePod Mini, not quite a review by Mr. Psy Girl.
Ah,
Sometimes you buy a product and feel unsure as to why you did. Maybe because the cool kids said so, or maybe like you're missing out. And this is the product that will fill that hole. It says here, hole. I can't say whether I thought either of those things, but I've been intrigued by the HomePod since the original jumbo one came out, but was unwilling to spend the nearly $350 it cost for one. Go over and read what Guy thinks about the HomePod Mini. Not quite review by Guy. So, yes, there you go. Is that okay?
yeah, that's great. And there's one more there.
There is one more there. The best
Yeah.
wine for banana-based cuisine. A review by Grape Ape, a 60-foot tall purple gorilla with a baseball cap.
Exactly. So
Hasn't that
moving,
been there for a while?
Yes.
yeah. that's our
Well
it's such a
spotted.
great article. It's such a great article that we sometimes feel the need to remind people that it's there.
It's there.
Shall we go over to Gaz's snippets or over to Nick's year in review?
I think we ought to go to Nick's year in review because they are equally long.
They probably are. Okay, Nick, take it away. Not Nick, Simon.
You had me
Hey.
worried there for a second. I thought, oh, I haven't got any
I was
reviews.
thinking, blimey, Nick, you stepped up a bit to the
Nick.
plate. haven't you?
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, look at him, M1
Straight in.
Mark, going to he's
Oh,
going to the
dear.
coffee shop, sitting there researching and doing all of his notes. Then he's taking over.
I was told this was a professional show.
Yeah,
Oh, good grief.
Who by?
really.
Yeah.
Who by-
You were lied to several times.
In several.
Okay, several. Right. Well, this here so-called year in review, which I compiled earlier this afternoon, wasn't really meant to be a whole thing in and of itself, just a few pointers looking back at the year. And by the way, it's not mine. I stole it all from Bart. So there.
Excellent.
Oh, it'll be good then.
Well,
Yeah, it'd be-
why don't you pick out a highlight? Why don't each of us go through and just pick out a
Yeah.
highlight? And as it's yours, you start then, Simon.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to, as I'm going first, I'm going to blag the most obvious one, which is November. Apple cut the App Store commission for small developers, which is those who net, not gross, net less than $1 million from Apple, and that's 98% of developers, according to most people. Big Sur went official. Apple dropped the shiny new M1 Macintoshes, and reviewers went mental about it. There you go.
We did.
That's my
We
grab.
completely did. Gaz, what's yours?
I'm gonna go with March, because we all remember March, don't we? Yes.
do.
CV19 becomes a pandemic. I don't know what this CV19 is. I've not heard any news.
And it's
on
somewhere
at all, really.
somewhere in Coventry, I think.
I think it is
Yeah.
CV19. I think it's in the middle of Coventry.
It's
Yeah.
it's part of the axle for a 1962 Citroen.
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 Yeah.
Ew,
Is that
there's a
the-
Citroen.
Is that like a
As opposed to a
Metro
Citroen.
Citroen.
Apparently, because those Citroens pumped out so much gas, Apple donated 10 million masks because of it. WWC announced as an online-only program, and Apple spring a new MacBook Air Retina and updated Mini. Why they did that, I don't know. iPad Magic Keyboard with a trackpad was launched. So that's March. Wonderful
Okay.
March. And then we
Nick?
all went into lockdown.
Whoop. Yes, we did. Your turn, Nick.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Just pick.
Oh,
Oh, you don't have the show.
Go to someone who might have the show notes. Go to someone who might have the show notes.
I think only the three of us have the show notes.
Okay, so can I tell you what, Nick, pick a month.
July.
July. Okay, public beta. So you are the guys have to pick a month if you haven't got the show notes, and then Guy and Simon will read them out. Okay, so July. Public betas of iOS 14, iPad OS 14, and tvS 14 came out. Apple continues support of BLM. Apple starts
Black Lives
spending.
Matter. That is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Did you not know? Thanks. Apple starts spending its pledged $2.5 billion on the housing crisis in California. Apple win against EU over the Irish tax in ECJ,
European Court of Justice.
Court of Justice. Thank you. And the Greyhound film, a hit. Apple win Emmys. There you go. That was
Excellent.
July.
Yeah, I enjoyed Greyhound. That was a good film.
Yep, good film.
Jim, it's your turn next. Pick a month.
I'll go for March when the world ended.
No,
Okay.
I've already.
No,
I
we
just
already did
done
March.
Oh, have you done that?
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Are you on this podcast?
Well, I'm a different planet. I'm in Scotland. April.
April. Okay, I'll take April. Apple and Google team up to work on contract tracing API. There's a new, where is it? Oh, it's in my pocket. New iPhone SE 2020 revealed. Apple designs medical face shield and says it will donate millions. Apple gives money to a variety of charities, including the BBC Big Night In. Your turn, Mark. Give us a month.
December.
Oh, that's on Simon.
Okay. Apple releases the AirPods Max at $549. Reviewers are baffled, but mostly positive. Facebook disses Apple privacy improvements in newspapers with full-page adverts, and TC replies basically saying, up yours.
Okay. Steve, give us a month. It's Gaz's turn.
August.
TikTok war opens. Phil Schiller moves from SVP to Apple Fellow. He's a fellow, you know. iMacs get
Hello, you
updates, but no Apple Silicon. Oh, how things changed. Epic pulls its App Store stunt to start the Fortnite war. It went on for longer than a fortnight. Antitrust investigations start to snowball around the world, not just for Apple.
Okay, Donny.
Good January.
January. Did we already do January?
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
Okay, January. Apple and FBI and more E2E wrangling. Usual stuff. Think of the children versus E2E that can't be backdoored without breaking everything for everyone. The EU voted to press on with standardizing chargers, and then Apple made it moot by removing chargers. And CV19 breaks out in China, though I think that was probably more like October of the previous year. All right.
Well, let's just say that's when it broke in the news. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's when people actually started to talk about it. Who haven't we talked to yet? Who haven't we asked to pick a month yet? Or has everybody picked a month?
Yep.
I think
right.
everybody's picked a month now, haven't they?
Okay, then Gaz, pick a month. Grab a month.
Apple, I'm going for May. Apple and Google's exposure notification API goes live. Well, in some places. FBI continue to attack Apple about encryption. Apple says it supports BLM. Well, that's obviously meant that it was still supporting when we spoke about it in July. And Tim Cook pens open letter on racism.
Okay, I'm going to take September because that's my birth month. Yay for me. EU to appeal the ECJ ruling. Will streaming games work on iOS? Furor starts. Judge exonerates. No, I don't know what that word is.
Excoriates. That was a very stunning word.
Oh, that is a stunning word. It's so stunning that I don't even know what it means. Epic tactics. I know it probably means that the judge said naughty, naughty.
Right.
Apple,
basically.
yeah.
Wag your finger.
Then it should have said, judge says naughty, naughty to Epic. Apple launches
waves finger.
and waves finger. Launches the Apple Watch SE and new Series 6. Apple launches new iPad 8 and new Air 4. Apple One bundled announced, and the UK Apple Maps are updated so that you don't drive into a river. Simon,
Supposedly
pick a month.
Oh, blimey. I've already picked one, but let's see. November. So Apple cuts App Store commission. Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? We've done that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. October. October. After, a summer of pandemic, Apple still makes all the money. Antitrust and Epic stuff. Apple make all the money. Even though, everybody predicted their quarter would be terrible. They made vast quantities of monies in a record-breaking revenue. Antitrust and Epic stuff rumbled on and on and on and on and on. Subscription streaming game confusion and unclearness continues. And Apple announces iPhones 12 range and HomePod Mini.
Okay, I'll take June. Did we already do June? No, I don't think so. Okay. Apple announces $100 million racial equity and justice initiative. The UK U-turn on not using Apple's API, but do so with bad grace. WWDC with iOS 14, macOS 11, watchOS 7, and Apple announced that they are going to custom silicon. Did they ever do that? Did that come true? Okay, very good.
Nah.
Controversy over censorship and hey app prompt some app store changes. And I think there's just one left.
Do you want me to take it? Because
Go ahead.
it's the biggest
tiny
one
one.
so far. So just hold on to your hats, guys. This could take about 10 minutes. February, COVID-19 wreaks havoc. Mobile World Congress scrapped. That's it.
That's it.
Long.
Yeah.
Long.
Anybody have any comments about any of that?
When did the HomePod Mini come out? Was that November? I think it was, wasn't it?
No, that was September, I think, wasn't
Remember?
September was the
it? The phones.
yeah, I've got iPad 8 and AirPod.
October.
New Air 4. I think it was October.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phones.
Have you got one, Mark?
I have, and it's all right. That's literally because my suspicions were aroused when they did all the reviews, and the reviews were a lot like the Apple press event where they were going on and more about Siri and intercom, and you just saw all the reviewers. They would all sit there, turn the speaker on, and go, "Wow." And then they'd go on to like the Siri stuff. There was nothing about the actual sound or the quality. And I think, as I said on the show a couple of weeks ago, it's a very safe sounding speaker. It's a very Apple. There's no big highs. There's no overreaching lows or anything like that. It's spatially quite aware. It's all right. It's on the cusp of, the only reason I'm not upset with it is because it's the cheap Apple speaker. And I think that's the only thing I can say about it. If anything, it's made me want a HomePod because...
What, the full-size one?
Yeah. If I had the funds, I would go full-size HomePod because I can see what they're trying to do, but it's just... There's just nothing to it. If
So
that makes sense.
who else on
I
the
think you spent way too much money on your brick wall is what happened.
Who else on the show's got a HomePod
just-
Mini?
Yeah. No, I
Redecorate the
think of an original one.
I've got a
So
mini.
there's only Mark and Guy that's got a Mini.
I liked it. You can go over, I wrote some stuff on this over at MyMac. I really wanted, when they first came out, the full-size HomePod, but I wasn't willing to spend $300. I mean, that's like 2 to 4 microphones. So I wasn't willing to spend that kind of money.
You're basically the podcaster version of a cyclist.
I am.
Of microphones tab.
Actually, these are my two latest ones, and maybe later we'll talk about that, or maybe not.
Oh no, let me butt in. No, I don't know where it is now. I think I've put it away. Jackie bought my boy a little tiny shock mount tripod and pop filter for his microphone, and it cost £3.99. So that's about $3
over a Wish.
From Wish. And it came, and it was really quite nice. It's basically the same stand as Mac Jim has got, but his came with a microphone and cost 15 quid or something. But this one also came with a microphone, which is a 3.5mm jack with an adapter for stereo output. And it is like shrunken. It's got a head on it about that big, and it's about
big.
That size. Yeah. I've no idea if it's any good. I mean, he doesn't want it because he's got the £20 microphone that I rejected earlier in the year for the for podcasting because it's too sensitive for podcasting up close. But it's great for him because he puts it on the desk, sort of 4 foot away, and can then do his videos and just talk, and that's fine. So she bought him a little this little stand with a shock mount like Jim's. Which is lovely, but we were amazed to find it came with this little tiny microphone, which probably sounds absolutely diabolical.
I'm now thinking that if Simon and Guy did a podcast, tangentially, you'd never get back on subject, would you?
No, never.
No.
Never.
Okay, so trying to get back on the subject, Steve, I see you've got the full HomePod. How do you find it?
Well
rescued.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's only,
compared
it costs 300 quid. It's only
Yeah.
God, that's basically like say, the HomePod Mini is okay. The HomePod,
yeah,
you know,
I wish I
it
hadn't
should be a
paid full
knee
price.
trembler.
right.
It should be, yeah. The sound's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's worth the full price.
Well, the HomePod
Yeah.
Mini, actually, considering its cost and its size, to me, sounds really, really nice. I've only got the one, and it's linked up to my Apple TV, and I am amazed at what kind of sound this little thing puts out. Now, is
Oh, it's got a clear sound, but there's not enough separation. If you listen, so one of the songs I always
Jump
check,
in, Mac, Jim. You jump in when you want to.
Yeah, go on, Jim.
I'm curious what you were expecting out of the HomePod Mini. What were you wanting out of it?
For me, a bigger generational sound jump than the Amazon Echo. So the little dot is a 30 quid dot, and you get 30 quid's worth of sound from it. I don't think you get 100 quid's worth of sound from the HomePod Mini. It's clear,
What use?
but
Sorry, what use were you wanting to put it to?
sorry, say that again, mate.
What use are you putting it to?
So watching things like The Mandalorian, which I keep coming back to, that ending. Oh Lord, has anyone seen the ending of The Mandalorian?
Yes.
I've seen it.
who would have thought that
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins was his own mother? What a twist!
I was thinking, right, this is going to be, it's going to be Ray at the end. We're not going to do any spoilers on it. And I was going, don't be Ray. And it was him. And like,
Don't
actually,
do any
fist
spoilers. Well, it's a
Just
boy.
spoil it.
Well, exactly. No, it doesn't. It could be Jar Jar Binks. It could be
So it's not
No,
Jar Jar
any
Binks.
other.
not. It could not be Jar Jar Binks.
Could have been Lando.
Universe.
It
Anyway,
could have been
Otherwise-
anyway.
I'm interested because actually I know where Mac Jim's coming from this, because actually Apple have tweaked this as not just another speaker though. They're still going for that smart stuff, aren't they? That's what they're hoping, that this brings people into their smart, ecosystem.
And it
But
brings
It was
it
always
brings
the
a whole
problem.
load
though,
of
that-
HomeKit, doesn't it? HomeKit
Yeah,
hub.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, the problem's always been, and I think we've talked about this before on Essential Apple, is that Siri just isn't designed to be. I mean, the Amazon lady tends to do a much better job, and in fact, I believe that the Google one's even better at just answering questions rather than referring you to web pages. Or
I think
that's
I
what's
would
always
go-
put me off.
I think I'll go with what Mark says. The one thing that I get from the A lady that you don't get with Siri is you just say, "Hey, dingus, do this," and you get an immediate reply. With Siri, you get that annoying pause, pa-ching, please speak now,
Yeah.
say give your query or your command, and then you have to wait for the bing bong,
Yeah.
I'm doing it now. But you don't get that with a.
I'm
with the
sorry,
A lady.
Dave.
I think
I can't do
I think-
that.
Yeah,
Yes, I think
exactly.
audio is so subjective as well.
Yes.
Audio is
We'd
so
get-
subjective that
No, my
what
idea of
fine
what
for
good
one
audio is the only one that matters.
Would the cure be for Mark to buy another one and pair it?
I
sure
have
this-
been thinking about that.
Right.
I might actually do that as a Christmas present to myself and give
Hmm.
it a fair shake. So, for example, the one song that I really listen to that I compare any headphones or speakers to, and I've only done a few, is the Blues Brothers' "Sweet Home Chicago," because
Yeah.
it's got bass, it's got mids, it's got trebles. You've got pure instrumental sections of that musician doing their thing. And I've listened to that song so many times that a good set of speakers will just remind me at a pinch of the little bit of nuance that I've missed. Whereas this one, I was having to do I don't know if this is a big stage, you're having to do, you're leaning in music to hear it. I did review a set of edifiers, which are £200. I know that's all the price, but you would be getting 5 times more, maybe even 10 times more the music quality. I would give the Amazons a go, but I don't know why I shy away from dropping 120 on a speaker, and I don't think there's been that many comparisons. It's okay. I can't really whinge, but the one thing I do miss is that I wish it would just go a smidgen louder, unless I'm going deaf.
Pardon?
No, I wouldn't push the HomePod Mini that hard. I think that, I think that the problem is this. I don't think that this is a device that was really intended to satisfy people that listen to analog audio. That this is a device that you pair up to a TV, that you pair up to your iPhone, that you have sitting in the background when you want to listen to holiday music or something along those lines. And to me, the sound is good enough. And because it pairs so well with the Apple TV eventually, once I figured out how to do it, I believe that the sound that it delivers for TV, for most people that aren't looking for a surround sound experience with Dolby 5.1 and all the rest of that, so I think it's good enough. And because it's also connected in with Apple, it works with your watch, it works with your phone.
I will say one thing before Gaz, is because Gaz doing wacky waving inflatable balloon man. I will say one thing. The one thing that really does stand out for that speaker is the microphones, because I can be in a room around the corner, go, "Hey Dingus, do something," and I've even had music playing really loud and drop my voice, and it's picked it up. Gaz, you seemed like you were somewhat keen then to say something.
Right, so to you two guys and to Steve as well, have you been able to pair it up with a TV, not Apple TV?
What, Bluetooth?
No, I did have a hell of a problem.
There's not a connector.
I know there's not a connector, Guy. That's the point I'm making. That's why I'm jumping up and down, because every review I'm hearing and seeing about it, you really to do it properly, you've got to have an Apple TV. Well, a lot of people, if they're thinking that, they ain't gonna go out and buy an Apple TV just so they can use this speaker. So you really got to be entrenched in the Apple ecosphere really to be able to use this, I think.
I don't know if my TV does Bluetooth. I would, because I have an older Vizio, so I'll have to check and see if it has Bluetooth, and if it does, I'll see if I can pair it up with it.
Some TVs do have Bluetooth, but they tend to be very finicky about what they'll connect to.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why I would buy the HomePod Mini. I would buy a pair to use with Apple TV as a stereo system, but to get the full cinema experience, you've got to go for the full version, the day version, because the HomePod Mini is limited in its connection.
It doesn't do Dolby, does it?
Yeah.
But then on the Apple TV, you haven't got the jack. You'd have to go into optical. Then if you're going to drop 200 quid on a set of HomePod Minis, I would gather that there's probably better options out there. I'm having a bit of a name fart because it's not on the screen. It's not like me to forget a name.
Be prepared.
Was it Steve from Geeks Corner? What's been the main use of your HomePod? How much do you use it? Do you use it every day? What's your sort of
when I first had it, I used it all the time for music, and I paired my Apple TV to it. But I've got to be honest, I've gone mainly for the Google Home, because just for the smart, it's much better
and cheaper.
And also that ties in with plugs, with light bulbs, the whole HomeKit thing. I'm really mad at Apple for dropping the HomeKit thing, because I was really excited for that when they announced it, and then it just
I don't think they've dropped it
away. And then
they just haven't done much with it lately.
Well, I think they're starting to pick up on that, aren't they? I mean, the one of the one of the big things of HomePod Mini is that it is really heavily centered on being a HomeKit hub, and the new Apple, Google, Amazon, and everybody else alliance for this, was it Home over IP, Connected Home over IP? That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, chip, Connected Home over IP, where they're going to standardize. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement there. And I think Apple have got back on that horse. They did let it rot for a bit in Apple's way. They go off and start worrying about something else. The other thing I'll say, because I've never heard of a HomePod, I've never heard the HomePod Mini, but there was one thing that Dave Hamilton said when he was on the show, and that is every company have their own sound signature. You know, Sonos have a sound signature. You know, B&O have a sound signature. Sony have a sound signature that they aim for. Apple have their own sound signature. And Dave Hamilton said he tested both the HomePod and the HomePod Mini and returned them both, not because there was anything wrong with them, but as a musician, he didn't find their particular sound signature pleasing to him. And as Nick says, audio is incredibly subjective. Some people think beats are the greatest thing in the world. Other people, you know, rip them off their ears going, geez, the bass, you know, it's a very subjective thing. One thing that crops up about Apple and their sound signature is, and this applies very much so to the AirPods Max, there's no kind of user adjustable EQ. If you're using them to listen to Apple Music, for example, you can go into the Apple Music settings and you can adjust the EQ.
Simon.
Oh, am I? Sorry. If you're using Apple stuff to listen to Apple Music, you can go into the Apple Music settings and adjust the EQ. But as devices per se, Apple do not provide any, you know, user accessible EQ.
You have to listen to it the Apple way.
Yes, and
Yes.
Apple,
you will like it.
Yeah, if you, I think you can change the EQ a little bit in music, but it's not that easy, I don't think, and it doesn't change the sound of the speaker. It only changes the sound of the music you're listening through in Apple Music, I think.
Apple Music, yeah. There's no universal EQ adjustment for the Apple sound devices. You know, AirPods, any of the AirPods, the HomePods. You can adjust the EQ a bit in Apple Music via settings. And by the way, that's hidden away. You have to go to settings, Apple Music, you know, personal preferences EQ or something. It's not easy to come by. I mean, even iTunes used to have an EQ in the menu. You could bring down the EQ. But the Apple sound signature is peculiar to Apple, and it's their own particularly safe. I mean, we've got to remember, Apple also have this thing where you have had your AirPods too loud for too long, and we're going to throttle back the amount of volume you're allowed to listen to.
Tell that to the NFL on YouTube. Flipping heck, every advert they turn the volume up on YouTube when I'm on headphones.
Oh,
honestly, Gaz, that's US centric television to begin with. Almost anything you watch from US television, you're going to hear.
They're allowed to do that.
They turn it up so loud.
That kept happening in the Mandalorian finale. Every time the music played, it got really loud, and then you had to turn it back down.
Yeah.
That's an overhang of that is an overhang from back in the day of analog TV, where you were allowed to have sounds coming from a certain variant. So obviously TV shows hit a dB standard, but then advertisers found out that okay, we've got something like 6 decibels to play with, which is why you can watch a TV show, the adverts come on, and it's like boom.
Great.
Well,
anyway, sorry, Mac Jim. I stepped over Mac Jim. Sorry, Mac. So.
No, I was just going to say that the other thing that makes a difference to the sound is where you're listening it to. I mean, the room size, furniture that's in the room. You know, if you're listening in the bathroom, it can be very echoey. Mind you, wouldn't want to take one in there, but that does affect the sound quality of the HomePod Mini.
Bathrooms are excellent for sound quality.
Yes.
It's amazing how you can get things to resonate.
Sometimes to everyone's detriment.
And also good for pictures as well, as Matt Jim taught me, that you can use a bathroom. If you haven't got an infinity background, stick what you want to take a picture of in the bath and take a picture.
Oh, because it's bright.
I was wondering where you were going with that for a second, but okay.
Yeah, but that's a top tip, isn't it? For small product shots, if you need to take a photograph of a small object, as long as you've got a white bath, obviously not an avocado one. But
And you don't
or
have like
pink.
a ring
Or
or
a tide mark.
But yeah, if you want to photograph a small object, you know, a mug, a microphone, a widget, and you want to get a nice infinity white background like professional photographers use, put it in the bathtub. And also the flash will reflect nicer from.
Just don't turn the bathtub on while it's in the bathtub.
No, don't turn the bathtub. Don't turn the taps on, nor have it full of water when you do it. No, that's very good advice. But
You might want to do an underwater shot. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess if you, as long as you got a waterproof
it's not
GoPro.
plugged
And,
in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I tried that once with an old tube TV. It did not work well. Not at all. 50,000 volts.
Like Guy or Mark, when you set up that HomePod Mini, did you have any issues? Because I have a friend who bought 2 of them, and he set one up fine in the HomeKit app, and the other he can't get set up for the life of him.
I had a complete nightmare setting. So go, let's go.
Yeah, I had some problems setting it up with the Apple TV. It's not intuitive. It is not intuitive at all. And frankly, with the Apple TV, you basically go into the settings and you go to, I think it's connected devices and something along those lines, and it doesn't come up. You literally have to do stuff to get the HomePod Mini to show up to connect it. And it should literally be when you if you plug in a HomePod near an Apple TV, it should come up on a screen and say, hey, I see that you have a HomePod Mini. Would you like me to connect it? And then you click a button is the equivalent of yes or sure or whatever, and it connects, but it's not that easy. And if you connect another one, it should be kind of the same thing where you're managing it through the Apple TV, because of course the HomePod or HomePods don't have a screen for you to do anything with. So, this weird way that Apple makes you go through in order to connect it up to another Apple device, I think is ludicrous and needs to be looked at.
That's very un-Apple-like, isn't it? Very un-Apple-like.
It is. And
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that it wasn't just plug and play. And that's what Apple is known for. You get an Apple Watch,
or even just put your phone near it, and it just picks it up.
Yeah,
Which is what they've done before.
Because, well, I see you have this other phone. Would you like me to slurp the information off that phone and put it on this? Or another one is you have an Apple Watch and you sit down in front of your computer and it automatically logs you in. Things along those kinds of small things that Apple has done in the past are brilliant. And the fact that the HomePod and the HomePod Mini don't work in that same way, especially considering that you don't have any kind of setup screen for them unless you go through another Apple device, speaks volumes.
I had a nightmare setting up my HomePod Mini. An absolute nightmare. I had to go out and get my portable hotspot to get it to connect up. It took me about 30 minutes to set up something that's supposed to be magical.
Yeah, I had to Google it to figure out how to do it, because of course,
not good.
Well, I mean, I had it, and the only thing I'd really used it for was I said, okay, hey, S lady, play some Christmas music, and it went into a playlist and it started to play, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. Play Foo Fighters or play this band or that band, and it went out and it got playlists of those just like it would, with an Apple Music subscription or what have you, and it started to play it. But then when I went to hook it up to the Apple TV, it was like, okay, how does this work? And I'd already, of course, thrown away the directions and everything else. So it's like, God damn it. So I had to, Google on how to make that work.
Guy, did you try saying, hey, S lady, connect to the Apple TV?
I did. That was like one of the very first things I tried to do. And it was basically, it gave me the Apple equivalent of, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. So, I was stuck outside of
But then you said, my name is not Dave.
Well, it didn't know that. My name could have been Dave.
Have you tried the transfer of the song from the iPhone to the HomePod Mini? The way they showed it in the keynote, it looked very seamless. Just touch the phone against it and it transferred it over. Have you tried that? And is it as seamless as it looks?
I haven't tried that. Did you try that, Mark?
Yeah, it's hit and miss. It is very,
Fair
very
enough.
hit and miss. You have to get it at the right angle, at the right point on the speaker, which ties up with all the reviews. Does the big HomePod have that? I don't think it does it?
No, don't think so.
So the handoff, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
handoff.
yeah,
Oh,
it's got
good.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it sort of is it a bit more seamless? How hit and miss is it on the HomePod?
I'd say it works about 85% of the time.
That's still more than
Oh,
the
it's not
Mini.
too bad. Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised that most of this show has been taken up by the HomePod. Before
What about
we
the
go-
Mandalorian?
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone here, I'm guessing, has been watching The Mandalorian.
Nope.
No,
Who hasn't? Raise your hand if you haven't
I've
been watching.
not watched the last episode yet.
Not guilty.
I haven't seen any of it.
Okay, Anthony
No spoilers.
Perkins is his own
I'm
mother.
lying.
It doesn't work here.
So,
It doesn't work here.
No, it's good. I've been enjoying it.
it
I'll
is
give
good.
it that. Yeah.
it is
Over
really.
the head
It's
there.
probably, to me, it's the best Star Wars since Rogue One came out, and I really liked Rogue One. I know
I think
some
this
people
season-
weren't happy with Rogue One because they had the virtual Moff Tarkin and the virtual Princess Leia,
But
but
how else are you going to do it? How
yeah,
else are you going to do
and
it?
the story itself, I think, was what made Rogue One, and
Yes.
the way that they tied it in it was like a prequel to the first Star Wars.
Yes, it was.
And it
Because
was
it filled
really,
in the
really
bit
well
about it filled in the bit about many good people died to bring you these plans. There's just almost a throw. It's almost a throwaway line in the first movie, isn't
Yeah.
it? Many good people died to bring you these plans, and then
And they made a
kind of filled
2-hour
in that-
movie out of it.
Well, why not? Why not? You know, that's something
thought-
people are interested in.
Yeah,
I thought Rogue One
Right.
was very good, but the following film that came out was so bad I came close to
Yeah.
walking out.
Yeah, Solo was not.
How
good.
close? How close? Yay close?
Yeah, it was yay close. yay close. Bringing
We
it
have
up
a
all the way
Scottish-
back around.
We
So
have a
who's-
saying in Scotland, but it's
Okay,
not
so
not for
let's-
family use.
So let's before
Who's got
we
an
go-
M1? Come on, who's got an M1?
I do.
So we've got three.
This will impress you. I actually I've been doing a little bit of video editing. I don't do a lot, but it's the church I belong to has been streaming stuff, and so I've been putting stuff together for that. And a couple of weeks ago, I encoded. I used DaVinci Resolve, and I encoded about 3 or 4 minutes worth of video, and it took 3 to 4 minutes to encode it, about the same time as it would to play it. I did something similar a couple of days ago on the M1, and there were 3 songs I encoded. I'm only encoding at 720p, so this is not heavy work. But the first one took 15 seconds, the second one took 18 seconds, and the third one took 11 seconds.
And this is for
So
a program that's
fast.
not even optimized yet for Big Sur or
No,
the M1.
no, that's right, or the M1, but it's incredibly fast. So yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve is a fantastic video editor, and the fact that it's free,
Yeah,
it blows
amazing.
my mind.
I like
Right.
it very much, and not only that, there's some really good YouTube videos about that just give you the basics of how to use it, and they're really good. So yeah, I'd recommend DaVinci Resolve. Not having used many of the others, I like it, so I'm going to stick with it, I think.
Simon, how about you? How are you finding it?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Me? Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, I stepped up.
Well, which one did you get?
2030. MacBook Air. I went 16/512. Because I'm likely to keep this machine for 7 to 10 years. So I went, 16 on the grounds that the machine I had, which was a 2013, which was 8256, was doing fine. But I wanted to get on the M1 wagon, and I had the cash, so
Why not?
I bought it. I went 16256. It brings me Touch ID, which obviously I've never had before. It's obviously, even if I'd bought a 2019/2020 Intel machine, it would have been a huge upgrade. But this is like, this is a quantum leap. It's
like getting a new machine. It's like going back to the days of the early, 386s and 486s, and the leap in performance is back in those days.
It's like going from an SE to a 2CX or something, where the processor jump is huge. It's amazing.
Cool. I know you, Guy. You're already thinking about getting rid of your iMac, so I know that you've jumped both feet in. You're loving it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be. I think my wife is going to take the iMac to replace her 2013 MacBook Pro.
Well, I hope she's going to.
Yeah. Well, we've been married for 20 some years, so I think we're already.
Well, I hope she's going to pay double for it then.
The part that blows me away about all of this is these are the slowest M series Macs that we're ever going to see, and they're blowing away everything except for the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro.
Well, basically,
let's be careful. Let's be careful. Whoa. Let's be careful. There are some things that still the Intel Macs are still beating it on. If you need a Mac and you can live and you want to live within the Intel ecosphere, then please go ahead. Don't think that you've got to move to the M1.
Oh no,
there are still some things that.
But I mean, in comparison, as we said, if they're sort of low-end machines, and yet it's like having an upgrade
absolutely.
from what should be more powerful machines.
So who else on the podcast that hasn't got one is going to get one? Donny. Nope.
You're not going to get one, Donny.
My computer, I have a Mac Mini that is. Whenever they updated the Mac Mini a few years ago, when they made like the big jump, maybe 2018 and
2018.
So that's going to last for another 10 years, then, isn't it?
Probably. For what I do with it, as I've said on the Essential Apple podcast, I do most of my stuff on the iPad now. So this Mac is here for basic things I still need to do on the computer, and in these days for video for working on and teaching on. But I got to the point before COVID that I was hardly ever on the Mac, so I don't have any plans of replacing it until I need it.
Cool.
Oh,
makes sense.
Perfectly sense. And Donny, while we're here, obviously you ordered an iPad Pro and then cancelled it because it was going to take forever to come. Oh no, sorry, you ordered one, rejected it because you found it too heavy and awkward to use. Ordered another one which was going to take forever to come, and then they launched the Air, and you bought the Air 4. So I know you've talked about it on the Essential Apple, but why don't you just give us as it's a new this year machine,
I'm loving it. It does everything I need to do. A lot of the reviews were saying, the main difference between the Pro and the Air was the screen, the Pro screen, but I forget what it's called, but the refresh rate, I think.
It's 120 hertz.
Yeah, I don't notice any difference at all with any problem with that, and I use it. As you know, I do Procreate all the time, and Procreate works fine for me. Does everything I need it to do. I use LumaFusion for editing videos, and it doesn't skip a beat. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's a fab machine by all accounts. I don't have one. I don't have an iPad at all, but
the new basic iPad is just blowing me away.
Oh yeah,
so the Air is just a step.
I mean, I bought my wife the basic iPad last year, so the Gen 7. I don't know what they did to it this year. They stepped up the processor, stepped up the storage a little bit.
They changed the name, Simon.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I do think, and podcasters say this all the time, I think people forget about the basic iPad for £329 or less if you can get a deal. It is an amazing piece of kit for your average user. And it supports the pencil as well. People forget that.
Yeah, it does. Cool.
You can still use the pencil with the basic iPad now. So for £329, that $350 or whatever it is, and often cheaper if you look, it's a absolutely amazing piece of kit.
And it has the bigger
Becoming
screen
more
now,
and more
too.
like a desktop computer all the time.
Oh yeah.
So talking about desktop computers, bringing us back to the M1. See what I did there, Steve?
Yeah, good.
Are you thinking?
Segue.
Are you thinking about getting the M1?
I'm thinking about it, but to be honest, I use my iPad Pro for most things.
Cool. Mark?
If I could get an M1, I would, but I think I'm going to hold on. I want an iMac. I'm going to use my iPad as the iPad and take it around with me. As much as I'm tempted, I'm just going to wait a little bit longer and see what happens.
Good.
Oh, that's good call.
Yeah, good call. Mac Jim.
It really depends on 2021. I'm currently using a 2013 MacBook Pro, so I would probably go for an M1 Mac Mini to replace this if this packs in. But going back to the iPad, I'm on an iPad Pro 9-inch, and I was always looking at buying another iPad Pro, but the Air now meets my needs because it's virtually a replacement for what I've got just now. So the Air would be the one I would go for. But going back to the Mac Mini again, yeah, I would love one. One thing I'm thinking about doing is, if I can get around to it next year, is I'm going to give up the BBC TV license, get myself a 4K monitor, a Mac Mini, and use the Apple TV with the 4K monitor and just watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, and maybe go for the Disney Channel and see this Mandalorian keep talking about. But
you'll have to watch out for the detector vans, Jim. You know those detector vans that couldn't actually detect anything.
Well, I wasn't going to be watching TV illegally. I was going to watch just Netflix and so on. You don't need a license for that.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
there's so much now, isn't there, to watch, and so many different sources.
Yeah, you really don't need a license now to watch stuff you want to watch.
That's true.
No.
Okay, why don't we need to kind of start wrapping this up before it gets super long. Where's my cursor? There it is.
I don't know. It's on the screen somewhere, Guy.
Well, you say that, but it's really big. Before we go, why don't you guys tell us what you would like for Christmas and whether it's something somebody else could get for you or what you'd get for yourself. Let's start with Gaz.
Solar panels.
Ooh, interesting.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you mean Apple related, Guy?
No. Whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm southwest facing, so solar panels, please.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
And batteries to store that power.
Yes, but not particularly Tesla batteries.
No, you don't have to. No, there's some good solutions out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, Simon.
Well, I kind of already treated myself to an M1, which is kind of my Christmas present to myself to some extent. I'm not sure that I really want or need much else, I'll be honest. I mean, I've got an Apple Watch 3, which I love. Another bottle of whiskey.
There you go. I knew we'd get around to it. I've got a joke about that at the end as well. So
okay, Nick.
Yeah, likewise. My M1. Yeah, it's the best Christmas present I could have had, I think.
Okay, Jim.
An M1 iMac or a big win in the lottery.
Steve.
If someone's going to buy me a gift, I take M1 Mini.
Okay, Donny.
Oh, well, we do Hanukkah in my house, so that's passed last week. But I guess I recently got the iPhone Mini, which I'm loving. So I guess that's my gift to myself.
That's what I got too. And Mark.
Sorry, did you say you got two, Guy?
No, I have one.
Two.
That's CSE, isn't it?
Donnie has one, so that's two. Mark.
A year subscription to the top tier of iCloud storage. because they've done it so if you have more than one device or take more than one picture a year, they've strategically planned it so much that if you're slightly above average taking photos and you have more than one device, yeah, they keep bumping it up.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. My 542 gig of photos, I'm already on that top tier. But actually, what's really good about that top tier as well, like all of the stuff, is I share it with the family as well, so it doesn't just get used by me. So it can be used.
Doesn't Apple One put you on the top tier, or is that the next to the top tier?
That's expensive.
Yeah.
But if you're paying for everything else, you might as well.
Well, I'm not though.
Yeah, but he doesn't want the. He doesn't necessarily want the fitness, does he? If you don't want the fitness,
right.
No, I'm fit enough.
Exactly.
I thought the Apple One deals were so good that I cancelled almost everything.
And I ended up. He didn't need any of it after all.
Yeah, I was using Apple Music, but then I wasn't actually using Apple Music hardly at all. So I just thought, well, why am I paying for this? And I stopped subscribing to everything.
Well, I pay for Apple Music because my daughter uses it.
Yeah.
I got the 1 year free trial of Apple TV. With my M1, Apple have gifted me another year of Apple TV. Although they've overlapped it because they insisted on tying it to my personal iCloud account, not to the one I use in the iTunes store. So right. I'm only actually, it's overlapping. So I'm only actually going to get 9 months, but really I'm not going to quibble. That's going to take me round to February 2022. No, November 21, sorry, because of the overlap. So at the minute, there's no point. I'm going to get the TV free for another year as of now, let's call it. I'm paying a tenner for music. I've got a free trial of News Plus, which I've used like once.
Yeah.
I've got a free trial of Arcade that I haven't even used at all.
I've got 3 months of that. I'm using that. Yep. I'm playing the game.
I got 3 months of it. Maybe over Christmas we'll have a look at it, but over the holidays. But they gave me 3 months of Arcade and I've not used it. So yeah. I'm not interested in fitness. See, I stay in the pink with ciggies and drink. So
cool.
No. I'm sure if you, Carl and Co on the Mac and Forth show, they had all been messing around with the fitness and saying how great it was, but they're all quite into doing their rings and walking and fitness and things.
How dare they?
Me. Yeah, how dare they? Wow, you've gone all fuzzy. Or is that the whiskey?
He has gone. Yes, Guy's gone fuzzy.
That's actually the way I normally look.
Yeah, it's because he spat at the camera.
If I was going to pick something, it would be the Blackmagic Design ATM Mini, which is an HDMI live stream switcher, because I've been doing a lot more live streaming lately. So that would be what I would probably choose for myself, because I've already got the M1 Mac Mini. I've got the 2 Dell monitors that I wanted for it.
Of course, you need more equipment to add to all that equipment you've already got.
Yeah, I do. I just don't have enough microphones.
Guy, you've really disappointed me, actually. Really, really disappointed me.
In what way?
Well, because you didn't ask for some sort of mic.
Oh, well.
I tell you what Guy really needs. What Guy really needs is an industrial racking unit to support all that stuff, so he doesn't have another shelving collapse.
Oh, you remember that?
Oh yes.
I have this vision of Guy having the back cave with all the microphones lined up. Which one will I choose today?
I don't think you're far off.
With all the microphones I have, I almost always revert back to the one I'm using right now, which is a Heil PR40, which is just a fabulous, fabulous microphone.
It's a little bit like going into a shop, isn't it, and seeing something and thinking, "Oh, actually, that's not bad," and then walking away from it and spending another 3 hours in the shop and eventually buying the first thing that you saw.
Yeah. But if you go over to Facebook, I did a quick comparison of actually these two microphones right here. And real quick, this is the newer
Real quick, Guy Searle. Real quick. You are kidding,
Microphones, quick and microphones do not go together in Guy Searle's vocabulary.
This is
Set the time in now. Let's go for it.
NW-040, which is it's a dynamic microphone. It's about $28 US. And the one I compared it to was this right here, which is a Shure, it's the industry standard Shure SM58. And
no, the 57 I think you'll find is the standard. The 58 is for the posh people.
No, well, I mean, I think they use the same capsule, so it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. They're actually both the 57 and 58 microphones. But what I found was that for $28, the NW-040, in just a quick little test that I did, sounded really, really good. And if you have an audio interface that has relatively good preamps, because as with almost all dynamic microphones, you really need some juice to push it up. Either one of those is a great choice, but the NW-040 is for the money is a wonderful choice. And I actually have a Personas is getting ready to send me, I think it's the Revelator that I'm going to do a review on.
Did you set the timer, Gaz? Well, I tell you, I could make this a whole lot worse. This guy, tell me what amp you're using and what mixer you're using.
Anyway, Guy, I'm just about to mute you.
Okay. Not using a mixer. I actually don't use a mixer. I use a Behringer Euphoria UMC 404, which in turn goes to their Ultra Gain Pro and a compressor limiter. And that's all in a big chain that takes my stuff. But really,
do you suffer from much latency with your setup going through?
Mark, you are doing this on purpose.
You're just feeding his addiction. Enabler.
The problem is, full well that once Guy says something, he cannot stop until he's finished that conversation.
Yeah. He's basically the male equivalent of Kelly Guimont. God bless her.
All right. On that note, I think we are going to bring the show to a close. So let's start off with everyone telling us very quickly who you are, what you do, and how we can get a hold of you. Let's start with Nick.
My name's Nick, and I am usually co-hosting on the Essential Apple most Sundays. And I occasionally have a chat to Bart on Let's Talk Apple as well.
Good show.
And you can find me very occasionally on Twitter, and I'm Spligosh on there, SPLIGOSH.
Okay, Steve?
I'm Steve, and I run geekscorner.co.uk, and you can find me on Twitter at geekscorner_UK.
Okay, Mark?
You can find me on the YouTube mainly these days at Essential Apple, where I'm looking into mobile broadband for £18. And does it actually work? On the Twitter at Ocean Speed, and of course my sort of very sporadic appearances on the Essential Apple podcast.
I'm sensing a theme. Donny.
Oh, let's see. I show up on Essential Apple every now and then. I do a bunch of artwork and art projects, from children's books to graphic art and all kinds of stuff. You can find more at hedgehogalley.com or RTTEACHR on Twitter.
And Jim?
I'm Jim, and I'm an Appleaholic. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong meeting I'm in. In Slack. In Slack and Flickr as the SRPS paint shop. Vimeo, which I can't remember what I'm on.
It'll be in the show notes, don't worry.
It'll be in the show notes. That's about it, really.
Okay, Gaz?
Yeah, you know me. You can send an email to Gaz, that's Gaz, at mymac.com, yes. Or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, GAZMAZ.
Cars.
And yeah, I sometimes appear on Bart's show. I sometimes appear on MyMac show for my sins every week. So I say sometimes I don't.
You know what you did.
I know what I did. I've done it wrong. Anyway, that's me.
And other places. Don't you turn up on was it Mike Potter's show?
Yeah. For Mac Guys Only. Yeah. I was. That's where I started. In fact, that's where I started my first outing into podcasting back in 2008.
So he's to blame.
He's to blame. Yes.
I don't think so.
If you'd like to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com. My Twitter addresses are MacPettit and also Vert Shark. You can find all of my audios and all my videos actually over on YouTube under the I'm losing my mind, under the Vert Shark playlist. So if you just search for Vert Shark, they'll all turn up there. Vertshark.com is the website for all of the audios and videos. And if you'd like to support my really, really ill and sick microphone habit, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go to coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. You can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. For all of us on the panel.
Whoa. As Simon said where he's from.
Yeah, didn't I get to you, Simon? I did.
No, you didn't get
Shame
to
on me. Go ahead, Simon.
He was wrapping up there nicely as well, wasn't he?
Well,
works.
You can find me on the Twitter as @Serenak, and that's SERENAK. Be warned, there's political rantings and family stuff and all sorts of other things on there. Not all Apple related. You can follow our show as @EssentialApple. And you can find all our stuff on essentialapple.com. And of course, I am the main host of the Essential Apple podcast. And by the way, Gaz, do that bit again. Do the winding handle again. Only people from the UK will know what that is.
There's a cracking drum and bass version of that as well.
For those who don't know, there are two things with winding handles. One is, the magic roundabout, and the other one is the end of Trumpton, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's next month.
Sorry. You have to be a certain age and from the UK probably to get those references, but never mind.
Yes, it's a missed show from at 5 to 6 at night.
Yep, that's the one.
We look forward to it 5 to 6.
That is going to do it, I think, for the show today. So for myself and Gaz and Simon and Donny and Steve and Nick and Jim and Mark, did I leave anyone out?
No.
Was that everybody? Holy crap! I got everybody. How did I do that?
It ended before something else goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us on this special Christmas episode. I guarantee that next week's Essential Apple and MyMac.com podcast will not be like this. So, everyone, please give a big wave and say bye-bye.
Happy Christmas.
Bye.
There you go.
Ta-da!
And I'm
Nice
just
to
going
bed, said Zebedee.
I'm just going to do a dad joke. If
Okay.
alcohol can damage your short-term memory, imagine the damage alcohol can do.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Bye all.
there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.